Where is the car now?
The car is junked.
The car is
You
junked.
junked it. So I just confronted him like, hey, where my money at?
I received a phone call that some girl had hit him.
I told him both of us have to provide information, and he blatantly told me no.
My daughter had internal bleeding. My wife had a slightly fractured nose, and I had post-concussion syndrome. My kids, I know my kids ain't gonna have a Christmas, but at the same time, at least she's out the way so I can focus on that. That vehicle's replaceable.
My daughter's life isn't replaceable.
Plaintiff Sean Bowles claims he sold his 2008 Chrysler 300 to his cousin, who gave him a down payment, but nothing more. He's suing for $3,100. Defendant Terran Tippett says the car began breaking down within a month, and he had to junk it. He says he owes nothing.
Raise the right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Case 72 on the docket, Bowles versus Tippett.
We have the plaintiff, Mr. Bowles, and you are suing the defendant, Mr. Tippett, for $3,100 for an unpaid car bill. Now, as I understand it, you two are cousins?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
This is my cousin, more like my brother. I
Yeah.
grew up with him.
But you're suing him.
Yeah, so I was selling my car, 2008 Chrysler 300.
How long have you had the car?
6 months. I knew that he needed a car, and he stated that he wanted to buy the car. So he bought the car, put $1,000 down. I have a receipt for that if you want to see.
Sure. Tell me a little about the car. You said you had it for 6 months, so I assume you bought it used.
Right.
Had you had any problems with the car?
No, I had no problems with it.
Why did you want to sell it?
Because I was getting me a new car. So, sold him the car.
Yeah.
After that, we made an initial agreement that he would pay $500 a month. He bought the car in November. Boom, December comes around.
That's what happens.
December comes around. He pays me a partial payment of $200. So I accept it because he's my cousin.
Yeah.
January comes around.
Yep.
He gives me another partial payment of $200.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like, okay, what's going on?
Oh, man,
January.
what's going to happen in February?
I wondered too. No,
Okay.
no payments. And I have the receipt of the partial $200 payment he gave me in.
Okay.
So then he stated that the motors on the windows went out.
The motor went out? The motor on the window?
Windows, yes.
Yeah.
He stated that the radiator went out on the car, so he said he's putting all of my money that he's supposed to give me into the car.
What did you tell him about the radiator when you sold him the car?
Nothing was wrong with it. Nothing, it was in fair
You didn't
condition.
tell him it was a new radiator or anything?
I didn't tell him anything. It wasn't.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
You mean he told you it was a good radiator?
I actually work on cars.
So when you bought the car from him, did you then take a look at the car?
I knew that certain problems was wrong with the car. When I
Yeah.
talked to him, he said that the radiator and the brakes he had just got done.
Okay, remember, you're both under oath here.
Right.
So this is serious.
Right.
You said you had just gotten the radiator taken care of.
The radiator is new. It's no longer the old radiator there no more.
You put in a new radiator.
Right.
I would seriously doubt that because within a month and a half time, the radiator went out.
If it's a new radiator, then it probably has some kind of warranty, right?
It was used. My old radiator was going out. So I replaced it with a used one.
Oh, used radiator.
Yeah,
okay,
so
well,
no
that
warranties.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's not a
new, no.
Right. Well, continue with your story.
This is my little cousin. He been living with me last summer and everything, and he knew I fell down on my luck and I needed a car. So he came to me and he told me, hey, I got this car, would you like to buy it? And I told him I really didn't have that much money at the time. But he said, if you can come up with a decent amount, I'll give it to you. So he said he wanted $45. I told him I could probably give him $1,000 up front, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
This caused a lot of problems between us at Grandma's house. We go over there every Sunday for Sunday dinner.
Good.
And I was over there, I walked in and I seen him. You know, like when you see family, you're supposed to be warm, loving, giving.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't like that.
No.
It was just like, you know, I see him, walked in the kitchen, he walked in behind me. So I just confronted him like, hey, where my money at?
Well, you're at Grandma's house.
I want my money.
He cursing me out and
But
everything.
it's your grandma.
And then-
I understand grandmas and grandpas.
I tried to avoid him and he walked in the kitchen behind me.
That's a lie.
Grandma tried to stop and intervene. When she couldn't, she left out the room, came back, boom.
What'd she do? Did she do that?
With
Does
the
Grandma
broom.
have a gavel?
With the broom.
Thank God Grandma's not here.
I just want to really get this settled because...
Okay, so it wasn't a brand new radiator. He said he put a new one in.
Yeah,
you know,
he said he put a
which
new one
was
in, but
used.
From my experience, if they tested it and the radiator was even just okay to put in the car, it wouldn't have went out within a month.
Okay.
And then right after that, the brakes. And the only thing that was with me is he told me that he was gonna get the radiator and the brakes fixed. And the two things that he told me were gonna get done didn't get done.
Here's a life lesson. When you buy a used car and you're going to pay for it over time, the chances are that at some point over the period of time you're going to be paying for it, and this is a year, 2 years?
Yeah, a year.
The chances are pretty good that something's going to go wrong with the car during the time that you're still paying it off.
Yeah.
And you are then going to, which is a normal human reaction, you're going to suddenly get ticked off and say, I am paying for this car monthly, and now I got to put money in to fix it up. You got to know going in, I'm buying a used car. You know more about cars than he does. We never know when the car is going to break down. So you got to kind of know that's going to happen. Where is the car now?
The car is junked.
The car is
You
junked.
junked it. So where my money at?
Who has the title to the car?
I got the title.
You got
Let
the
me
title
look
to
at the
the car.
title.
Boy. And I signed the back of the title.
Who's it registered to?
It's registered to my girlfriend's father.
When you sold him the car, it wasn't yours.
No, it was mine.
Well, no, it wasn't registered to you at the time you sold it.
Right.
You didn't have the right to sell him a car that you didn't yet own and didn't have registered. That's the law. And you can see why it is the law. You can't sell someone else's car. I got to say, case dismissed.
I'm not happy with it, but we're gonna go stride and keep it moving.
I'm happy with the judge's verdict. I feel like it was fair.
Plaintiff Shiva Stanley says his son was in a car accident, and the defendant refuses to hand over proper car insurance. He's suing for car damages totaling $2,850. Defendant Rebecca Dayton says she was not at fault and does not owe the plaintiff.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Number 28 on the docket, Stanley versus Dayton.
You are the plaintiff, Mr. Stanley.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I understand you are suing the defendant, Ms. Dayton, in the amount of $2,850 for car damage.
That's correct, Your Honor.
This is your son?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can step up here. And your name is Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Hunter. And as I understand it, you were the one driving one of the cars in question.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Why don't you tell me your story?
Hunter Stanley had borrowed my car to go to school.
Yes.
I was at work and I received a phone call that he had just been involved in an accident and some girl had hit him and he did not know what to do since this was his first accident.
This accident happened in a parking lot at a college campus?
Correct.
Okay.
So I gently explained to him, get a picture of her ID, get her phone number, get her insurance information. Her information for her insurance was not really her information for her insurance. It was just a policy number and somebody else's name that had been dated 012, I believe. It was canceled. So at that point, I had Hunter go ahead and reach out to her and try to get the proper information. A few days went by, so I reached out to Miss Dayton. Here's the text. By the end of the day, she finally got back to me, and her text was a little sketchy. She had turned it around at that point and stated that she's not given any more information since she was the one that got hit. And I have that text here as well.
You're answering him saying, I'm the one cooperating. I don't trust giving out any more information without knowing who hit me. I hope you can understand this. Well, let me ask the basic question. Do you have car insurance?
Yes.
Okay. And you'll give me evidence of that? Okay. And you have car insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're dealing with both sides having car insurance. Now let's take a look at what happened with the cars. What do you think happened?
Okay. I have a video explaining this.
Hunter,
Yes.
you can step over here.
Okay.
So may I first start off by saying that I'm the blue car, Ms. Dayton is the red car.
Yes.
This gray car will play its factor a little later. I'm parked right here, and as I exit my parking spot, I'm pulling out in order to head this way. At this time, I see Ms. Dayton pull onto my street, come the same way that we are, so we're crossing.
I'm moving over here too. All right. You're in the blue car.
Yes, sir.
You're going this way.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying she's coming this way and then turning in?
Yes, Your Honor.
So her front driver's side hit your...
My back driver's side.
Now, what, if I may ask you to come up here?
Hunter?
Thank you, Hunter. Now, can we put up a diagram of what you see? You're still in the red car.
I come in from this side.
Yeah.
I see a spot open up right here.
Yeah.
I allow the vehicle that's right here to pull out. Hunter proceeds, I didn't see exactly where he came from, but I'm assuming he came from this direction. I let him pass as well so I could pull forward and then back up into this space.
Right.
So we have my back corner kind of slanted like this.
Yeah.
He backed up. His back side hit like this corner edge right here. And the damage is actually done in the center.
The impact was there.
The impact was there, and this is what got shifted.
Yeah.
There was no damage to my vehicle.
Okay.
The dad wasn't there, and so he doesn't really know anything, and that's my biggest issue here. After we had impacted, I looked over, I said, could you please pull over to Hunter? I then proceeded to back into my spot. I then walked over to Hunter. He was on the phone with, now I know it was his father, which I kind of assumed, but that was confirmed. And then I gave him my ID. I proceeded to look for my insurance through my phone. I explained to Hunter that, hey, I'm having a hard time finding it right now, but I have an old claim number. And on it is my father's name, but I am under my father's insurance. That is not false information as the plaintiff has claimed.
Okay, that's fair.
And I told him once I got home, I could give him my insurance card. He said, yeah, no, it's my bad. I backed up into your car because I allowed the car.
So he said to you that
He said to me blatantly, I apologize for backing up. I was backing up for the vehicle to pull out. So here is my insurance.
I understand that that was initially a dispute, but I believe you now. You have insurance.
Yes. I then asked him, hey, could I get your information as well? He said, well, I'm kind of in a hurry as well. So how about you go ahead and send me that via text, that picture of what you do have, which is this, and then I will send you my information. I said, hey, I don't feel comfortable giving you more of my information when you have yet to even give me a single thing. He then said, you're the one that hit me. By law, you have to provide your information. And if you choose not to, then he threatened me by saying that I'm gonna. Well, I believe it's Hunter because it's on Hunter's phone. He threatens me and says that I'm going to call the police and I'm going to have them sort it out. I told him, yeah, of course. I told him, like I said, by law, both of us have to provide information, and he blatantly told me no. I made a claim with my insurance, and I have proof of that as well, but I couldn't even give him a name.
That would have went through our insurance, but she never provided her insurance.
Okay. Normally, the car that is going in one of the lanes has the right of way to any car that is pulling out, but also the car that is backing up is normally guilty as well. In most cases, there is joint guilt. So you got to let the insurance company handle it any way they want to handle it. So the case is dismissed without prejudice.
I'd like to know if we can just exchange insurances now so we don't have to deal with this later.
Yeah.
Plaintiff Amelia Armas let her ex-friends borrow her car. She claims they totaled the car in an accident and is suing for $5,000. Defendants Mark Torres and Norma Ortiz claim that the car accident sent them to the hospital, and the plaintiff didn't even care. They say they owe nothing.
The testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. This is case number 219 on the docket. Armas versus Torres and Ortiz.
Let me see. We have the plaintiff, Ms. Armas. You are suing former friends, Mark Torres and Norma Ortiz, for $5,000 for totaling your car.
Yes.
Okay, let me hear your side of the story, and then I'll get to you, okay? Go ahead.
I've known Mark and Norma for maybe 10 plus years. I let Mark borrow my car. He was insinuating to me that he had a broken down vehicle and he didn't have a way to, get his kids back and forth to school and stuff.
Right.
So I decided to go ahead and let him borrow my vehicle. It was a 2011 Kia Soul.
It says in your statement, our agreement was that he would keep the car for 3 weeks and change the brake pads.
Yes, for
That
letting
was
him,
the arrangement.
for letting him borrow the vehicle.
Okay.
Yes. And the day that I made the phone call to see, when he was going to return my vehicle back, he picked up the phone and he told me that there was a minor situation. And by the way he was talking on the phone, I automatically knew it had something to do with my vehicle. So I immediately rushed over to where he had the accident at.
Oh, he then told you it was an accident?
Yes. So when I got to the scene, he wasn't there anymore. But this is what this is what I ran into when
Oh, the car was still there?
the car was still there.
How did you get into this accident?
The left axle broke, and it shifted us to the left and we ran into a pole. We were in the hospital at the time, and my daughter had internal bleeding. My wife had a slightly fractured nose, and I had post-concussion syndrome. So we were at the hospital. I tell her about it, and the first thing she did, instead of being like, oh, how are the babies doing? Or, hey, you guys are good? What happened to my car? What happened to my car, Mark? At the time, I had like about $560. I said, I'll put all that into your vehicle, because we'd rather take care of her than my kids. I know my kids ain't gonna have a Christmas, but at the same time, at least she's out the way so I can focus on that. Then I'll work on trying to get Christmas.
Look at my vehicle. He said it was a minor accident.
I didn't say it was
look
minor. I
At,
said-
look how it happened.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a vehicle.
But
It's
at the end of the day,
replaceable.
that vehicle was
My
replaceable.
daughter's
Oh,
life
they
isn't
did.
replaceable.
If they were taken off barely from a parking lot, in a parking lot, how is it going to cause so much damage to my vehicle?
Here is the deal. She loaned you the car, so whatever the contract was, whatever the verbal agreement was, whatever that was, it still takes second place to the reality that you were driving the car. An accident happened when the car was in your custody when you were driving, and there's no one else that's responsible for that accident
Except for myself.
but you.
Which we did take
Okay,
responsibility.
I understand. And that's what she's suing you for. I would like some estimate of what the damages are. Do you have an estimate?
I don't, because when I told him that I wanted my vehicle back, he did not want to give it back to me. He moved it from the premises of where he had it, which was at his house, and he did not want to tell me where the vehicle was at.
That right there would be about up to $2,500.
All right, you're filing a suit and you're coming here to court asking for money, and you didn't come with an estimate of what it is?
They would not let me get my vehicle back from them, Your Honor.
What is this picture you're showing me?
This is the damage that she had when they hit that pole. They hit that pole so hard that this is the damage that it caused to her.
There's no question he hit the pole hard.
And when I was asking her how she
I
was
get
doing,
that.
she sent me this picture.
I have a very simple question, the only one I'm asking. I understand he's responsible for running into the pole. And I understand
From not having
there was
malfunction that
damage.
ran into a
I'm
car.
asking anybody here, stop talking to each other. I can see that neither of you, none of you, brought me a piece of paper which says, this is how much it would cost to fix. You have possession of the car.
Yes.
Your Honor, I would have been able to do something, but when he removed the vehicle from the premises,
Got it.
I could not find it.
Okay,
But we
well,
went to a
you know
place of
what?
business, But you had an opportunity.
Neither of
we were
you
offered to
did
give you
that.
the
I have to dismiss this case.
They did do the damage to my vehicle, and I feel that they're responsible for it. I mean, look at the damage. I mean, they weren't going, 15, 20 miles an hour. They had to been speeding down the parking lot in order for this damage to happen.
Showing a picture like that, trying to embarrass my wife on national television. I mean, to be honest, that ain't even right. But you know, at the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, I think.
Thanks for watching. Now please approach the bench. The way I look at it, you have two options here. Option A, watch more Judge Jerry. Option B, watch more Jerry Springer. The choice is yours. Now get out of my courtroom. You have more clips to watch. And don't forget to subscribe.